There we go. Hi, everyone. Hi, Kevin. Thank you for holding this space for us. Um, my experience with these sessions also was very similar. First of all, I just felt like it was such a safe container. It was such a nice place that, you were able to hold space and just explore whatever it was that I was going through and trying to process in a very accepting and just non-judgmental way. And I was trying to think of the right word of going through the session, what it would be, and I've kind of come up to the conclusion that it was almost like a recalibration in a sense, to take a little bit of the same kind of resonance that Chelsea was explaining. It's like if I was found myself in a place where I had a perceived loss of power, or I was going through some type of trigger or something that was causing a disturbance for me. I think there was a lot of speaking with you. There was a lot of taking from this perceived loss of power to realize that we actually can access peace in every moment. That's just inherently within, and we have that power, and it's actually what we are. And so, I also felt that there was a lot of times that I could talk about these things or issues that on my mind, and we could really get abstract with some of the hard to grasp concepts, but you were able to take them into a more tangible and easily understood process and how to tangibly go about them in a day-to-day life. So I've always felt a lot better afterwards and much more calm, connected, and capable to take on the day.
So great.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Laura. So beautiful. Yeah, these sessions are not, oh, what's the best lifestyle for eating? Like, what do I do when my toe hurts? These are very deep sessions that we're going to be going through together. And this is a very vulnerable and safe space for you to access your own vulnerability. And I have guided, I can't even count how many clients I've guided through these types of phone calls before. It always concludes with, I'm feeling more peaceful. I'm feeling much more present, feeling lighter, and there's never an agenda. Oh, hey, we're going to talk about this today. No, it's how are you feeling? What's coming up for you? And then we dive into that. And I never have anything planned of what to say. It's just, boop, there it is. Right? And all of this is based on a foundational understanding with intention to embody this idea that spirit is always present no matter what. And the experience of disconnection from spirit is due to these layers that we've accumulated that have this blindfold over our perceptions of our experience of life as humans. And through these sessions, these embodiment sessions, we're here in a space to peel away these layers, to literally remove the blindfold and perceive the truth that you are spirit in every moment of existence. And that you have unlimited access no matter what's going on in your life. And so my job is to help you peel away these layers so spirit just shines through. So with that being said, I will open up the floor. If you guys want to use the chat, if there's anything pressing from any of you that you want to communicate about, anything coming up, we'll just start there. Anything at all? This is not a normal, this is definitely not traditional space when it comes to group work at all. But who's willing to be vulnerable with themselves and with the group? We're here to hold safe space for you and with you. You can just raise your hand, and then we'll get you unmuted, and you can express what you have to share here. Okay, nothing. I mean, that's great. Nobody's got anything going on in their life that they want to dive into. I mean, that's beautiful. That's really great. Yeah, Ashley.
Hi. Thanks for giving us the space to bring things forward. What's been coming up for me recently, so excuse me to my daughter.
Okay.
I feel like the disconnection piece comes a lot of times with nervous system, right? And that's, what I noticed you talk about in some of the stuff you share. And for me, I get hooked into fear when it comes to like diet and like not necessarily. Yes, I love you. Okay. Not necessarily like I need to like count this or eat that. It's more with like plant-based versus non-plant-based food. And like I go through cycles of maybe being repulsed by it and then other times feeling like my body really needs it. And like there was a lot of dogma in like spiritual communities about diet and things like that. And so that's something that I've been dealing with lately.
Share a little bit more about how it's coming up for you. Is there a physical experience with it that's coming up? You mentioned there's a fear there. Let's dive more into that. What your experience is.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like it's a physical thing. So like an aversion to food. Uh, he's singing. An aversion to foods. And just like I'm feeling really particular about it, and not. And I'm not talking about processed foods. I'm talking about like, mushrooms or beef or whatever it is. Like, and I can't really like. Sometimes I have trouble with. I'm like, is this really mine, or is this just my nervous system, or is this me like holding someone else's template of like how I should be eating, that kind of thing.
Wait, stop. there are so many layers when it comes to food, especially in the spiritual community. And it can be difficult to navigate, but the most difficult thing to navigate about this subject is not the information, it's not people's opinions, it is your connection to your sovereign choosing. That's the most difficult, because when there isn't an foundational experience of your own sovereignty and what it is that you want to experience for yourself, then the outside input, other people's opinions, scientific literature, the intellectual processing of the information starts to seep in. And that's when it gets confusing and the fear starts to set in, because you're fearful of, is this right or is this right? Does that resonate there, Ashley? The fear of confusion, like, I don't know what is right to do here.
Yeah, like I feel like if my nervous system is taxed, I cut myself off to that part of me that knows. And so I go back and forth with like, oh, okay, I didn't eat meat for a long time and I was fine for a while. And then I was all of a sudden like, oh man, I'm really depleted. I need to start doing that again. But then I get into, excuse me, questioning myself about like how I do things because of, yeah, other information, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Really, the fear isn't about the food. Really, the fear and the fear isn't right or wrong. It's not the fear of, am I doing this right or am I doing this wrong? The fear is the disconnection. If I do this thing, I might be more disconnected than I am now. Right. So let's play with this from a perspective of peace. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to guide you through a little technique that I call breath of peace. And then we'll come back and we're going to view it from this space. The idea of breath of peace is that there is nothing for you to do to experience peace, right? And that's also ties into eating the right way to bring peace, because every action that you take is towards and with the intention of experiencing deeper peace and connection with who you really are, which is spirit. But breathing is not an action. Breathing is a state of being. So if you close your eyes, you can, all of you can join here. You close your eyes and tune into your body for a moment and witness the tensions that are coming up. The tensions in your head, your eyes, your neck, your shoulder, your jaw, your chest, and just take a big breath. And with the exhale, let those areas just like relax. You know, you're sitting down, just melt into your seat and let the things fall away. Let the tensions fall away. And then with another breath in, coming back to just melting and letting the tensions really just flow through your feet into the earth. And just take a few more breaths. I want you to notice that when you're taking the breaths, that there's a lot less chatter, there's a lot less dialogue happening inside of the mind. Even while I'm speaking to you, you can notice that there's not a lot of dialogue happening there. And you notice the tension in the body releases, and then there's this experience of peace that comes over you. In the chat, can you feel it? You feel the peace? You feel that silence. Just bringing that peace in. Are you feeling that peace, Ashley? You can use your microphone.
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
It's more peaceful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this peace is occurring because there is no mental chatter happening. There's no dialogue happening. The tensions inside of your body happen because of the thoughts that are flowing through the mind. So, from this space of peace, are you able to tune into what it is that excites you when it comes to nutrition? Can you feel an excitement about food? It's like, oh, I'm gonna eat this because I know my body reacts like this to this types of food. Is it more clear that the direction of which you are to go when it comes to food? Is that clear for you?
It is, yeah. Outside of like an expectation of how I think it should look.
Right. With that peace being present, there's no dictation coming from outside of you when it comes to food. Right? And that's really, I can't tell you what the best lifestyle of nutrition is for you, Ashley, because I have no idea. I have perceptions of what works well for me, and I have perceptions of what I guide all of my clients through, and it's the exact same for every single person. Soon to be a little bit more personalized, but with treating an unknown number of people and guiding them through the exact same nutrition protocol for the past 2 years, everybody reacts beautifully to it. Absolutely beautiful. But it's not necessarily the protocol itself. It's not the food that's bringing about this experience of, I feel good when I eat this. It is the belief system. When someone is paying for the protocol that I've created, I'm guiding them through it, they have allowed themselves a permission slip that grants them the experience that they want because of this, right? And it doesn't work for everybody in a sense of, if there's a medical doctor or any kind of doctor, naturopath, whatever it is that you're signing up with to work with inside of food, and when you have a transaction with them and then they tell you to go eat sardines or whatever it is, and you don't have a good reaction to it, it's because you haven't allowed yourself to permission slip the belief system that it will work for you. And that is because of the practitioner, not you. Because if that practitioner was fucking solid, connected, and in a space of wanting the best for you every moment, it will work every time. Doesn't matter what it is. I've been training with my student this past week, and we were really diving deep into this idea of a permission slip, and that there's no such thing as healing outside of spirit. And honestly, healing is, in a sense, a scam. The idea of healing, right? Of course, you can create all kinds of definitions, but in the general populace, inside of the spiritual healing community, it is a sense that there is something wrong and that something has to be fixed. I think we can all agree on that, right? And that's not the truth. And that is the foundational understanding that I hold when it comes to working with people and working with all of you, is that your whole right now is just that you've accumulated layers. And that does not mean that you require healing. What is required is peeling away of these layers. And it can happen anyway. The layers being peeled can happen through any medium that you want at all, because the medium that you choose to utilize as the way of which you are going to peel away the layers and expose spirit that you truly are and allow it to shine through you uninhibited by these layers of limitations. There's infinite routes of doing that. And I told him, I was like, look, you can shove a pineapple up your ass and heal your stage 4 cancer if that's what you wanted to happen. Because one, it's not actually healing. You're peeling away the layers and you're utilizing a belief system, a permission slip for you to connect with spirit on the deepest level possible, which is who you truly are, allowing spirit to shine through you. Doesn't matter what the medium is. Now, I will also say that there are routes that are much more aligned with natural and sovereign law than others. And that's why some are more successful than others. So, Ashley, what's really required of you is first to keep coming back to this peace, this state of peace, and then choosing what is going to be best for you. Because Gary Brecka, David Wolf, whoever the fuck, doesn't matter. They don't know what's best for you. Only you know what's best for you. They are scientists. You know, they go and they look at the research and stuff. And they do things that way. But that's not the way, because that's not in tune with natural law. Natural law states that you are a sovereign being and you make your choices. Now, when it does come to food, there are foods that are much more in alignment with natural law than other types of food. You know, an apple versus McDonald's, which one's more in alignment with natural law? A wildly grown apple versus a conventionally grown apple. One of them is much more in alignment with natural law, right? So what happens when you keep coming back to this space of peace inside of yourself, which is an expression of connection with spirit? Thanks, Chelsea. When you have, which is an expression of your connection with spirit, you naturally align yourself with things that are in alignment with natural law. It's just an automatic thing because birds of a feather flock together. So there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer, because right and wrong doesn't exist. It's what do you want to be best for you? That's really the thing. And then adjusting from there. Right? I mean, you can get pretty deep with it too. It's like which belief systems are going to counteract with which types of food as well, right? And so, from a space of peace, inside of yourself, you become an explorer of what works best for you. What I offer in my protocol, and you can ask Laura what it's like, because she went through it, is a form of elimination, eliminating all forms of defense chemicals and anti-nutrients coming from plant materials, and allowing the body to utilize the most bioavailable forms of nutrients, because animals are protein based just like us, meaning they're meat. Their bodies are made of protein, meat, just as our bodies are. Protein recognizes protein. That's just how it works. And then from there, having eliminated massive amounts of toxins, opening up the detox channels, reversing nutrient deficiencies because you're allowing yourself to absorb the bioavailable nutrients coming from the animals, you then have a clean slate of what is going to work best for you. And nobody can tell you what is going to work best for you. Right? Only you can do that. But of course, I have my personal opinions and biases for sure, but that doesn't have to be projected onto anybody. I'm certainly not going to do that. So just take another breath and bring that peace back in. How are you feeling now, Ashley? What's coming up for you?
I feel a lot more in my body about it. Like the charge is not there, and you helped me to get like to realize a perspective that I have conflicting beliefs about it, and so that I think is causing some of the so I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for, but like overthinking about it.
Mm-hmm. Ashley, when you were a child, do you remember having any type of belief systems about food? Maybe candy was bad, but other than that, were there any type of, ooh, I can't eat that?
No, not that I can think of. Like, you know, I remember going to McDonald's and like, my mom making us certain types of foods. But I think there was more of an air of restriction there, not out of like, maybe out of a necessity. And so maybe that subconsciously that is me trying to restrict myself by having these conflicting beliefs that keep me in a back and forth with it.
Okay. I'd say more so as an adult, having unlimited access to the day and age that we have unlimited access to data, right? And there is unlimited data out there about food. And here's my thing when it comes to research. There's no way to prove any of it because one way or another, it was funded by somebody with agendas. There's no way to prove it. That's same thing with all forms of conspiracies for me. I used to be a conspiracy nut, dove into all of it, even created a 3.5 webinar diving deep into the creation of a breakaway civilization in our solar system. But now I'm like, there's no way to prove any of this. I've never been off planet. I've had experiences with what I thought were extraterrestrials, but there's no way to prove that they were. Same thing here. With the adult mind coming into the day and age that we have right now with unlimited access to the information, it begins to witness one side versus the other side, vegan versus carnivore, animal-based versus vegetarian. And that confliction between the two sides that don't even exist, we're all one human, that's where these internal struggles start to occur, because in our moment, and this is psychology right here, playing out on a mass scale, you can witness the weaponization of data. I'm going to present this information is going to be presented, and then we're going to present this information in the same space. And what occurs to most humans is that there's an internal struggle to pick which piece of information we want to work with, which creates a vulnerability inside of us. When there isn't a foundational understanding and connection with peace, trust, and spirit, we get divided internally and confused and conflicted about the information. And this creates a huge struggle in the whole world. And that's why so many people have such bad digestive issues, is because they don't know which information to digest. Not the food, the information. And so they eat from both sides. They eat animal-based, they eat vegan. They go back and forth, whatever it is, or they're purely just this one thing, when really there's already an internal struggle about the information, and it doesn't align with their belief systems. And then there's an internal division of belief systems versus the actions that you're taking. And this is what creates these massive digestive issues. The key to all forms of connection with spirit and peeling away these layers is to come back to your peace, which again is the expression of the connection with spirit. Now, I will also say that I have 3 children, 3 young children, and they know we eat organic food. So when someone offers them food, they'll ask, is that organic? Fucking love that. I love that they do that, right? Because that, I'm training them, teaching them, and guiding them to that connection with spirit, which is expressing itself in the form of taking actions that are in alignment with natural law. How are you feeling, Ashley?
It's just, it's giving me it's it's provided me some space to feel into some things that I was holding within me that have created some of these belief systems that I've unconsciously used to hold on to grief. Um, and with the realization, just allow it to just be so that it can be let go of.
Yeah, great. It's really beautiful. And that is a really great choice that you, and also awareness that you have the choice to let go of these things. And then what occurs after you make the choice is that you are able to hold the space for your family, for your clients if you have them, and have a deeper impact on them, because then there is no longer the internal struggle inside of your field that you take into the field when you're with your family or when you're with your clients. Peace is a choice. Now, I have discovered that it is easier to make the choice when there are a lot less layers of limitations inside of the nervous system. And then peeling away these layers, the choice becomes easier and easier and easier. And then it's no longer a conscious making the choice of peace and connection and sovereignty. It is consistent happening without you even having to bring it in to your awareness. It's just boom, always there, always there. Because it is always there, whether you have the awareness of it or not. It's just, it becomes more aware. And then beyond the awareness is the embodiment of peace and trust and sovereignty. And this is where you physically can feel it. Now, that experience that you had when you're taking the breath of peace, that is the embodiment of peace. You're embodying peace in those moments because you can feel it. You can physically feel that peace. That's why we're here. There's no other reason. Everything else beyond you being at peace and consciously and physically aware of your connection with spirit is a passion. And the passion is the same for every single human, of sharing that connection, sharing that peace with every single person on this planet through whatever medium of art you are most passionate about. Is there anything else coming up for you, Ashley?
No, no, which is really beautiful to kind of feel that. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. Tracy, anything coming up for you? Totally cool if not, but the space is open for you. Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Laura, anything coming up for you?
the hardest time for me to find the unmute button. Here we are. Okay, so for me, I think just the biggest thing is just a remembrance that the more that we practice being in that embodied space of peace and um, can really just feel it and know it, and everything is so much easier. Decisions come easier, quicker, faster, and that there's really no right or wrong. It just really fosters that deeper connection within, that if it's true to you, things are true to me, and that's basically standing in that is really the only thing that matters. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, beautiful. This idea that there is no right or wrong, this is a Taoist idea. And this idea is an expression of truth, and it comes from nature. Because in nature there is no right or wrong. There is only the life unfolding. There is the lion eating the gazelle. There are the poisonous insects killing other living things, and the poisonous plants killing the other things, and then through the process of life unfolding, the animals learn to stay away from these fruits, stay away from this insect over here. And then you realize that in the moment of, let's say, the humans first discovering which mushrooms are poisonous and which ones are not, there were many deaths. This is just an abstract idea. And in that moment, of course, like, oh my God, that's so horrible and so wrong. But then you fast forward 5,000, however many years, and you realize that if it wasn't for those blessings of death, that we wouldn't know which mushrooms could be eaten. Right? And it doesn't have to take the scaling of time for a human to come to this understanding and embodiment of a truth that is beyond words, of course. That everything that unfolds is a blessing leading into another unfolding of life. And it doesn't matter what it is. And then on a galactic scale, the crimes against humanity that are unfolding as we speak, there's more slavery of humans in this moment of time than there ever has been in history that we know of. And ultimately, there will be an exposing of these crimes against humanity, and the majority of the humans are going to take it so personally and get so angry, and it's a blessing, because what unfolds after that is the complete restructuring of how humans live on this planet, which is completely necessary, as I'm sure you can all very thoroughly understand, that humans are not meant to live in the system that we are right now, but the system itself is a catalyst for human evolution on a scale that we just can't comprehend, because it hasn't unfolded inside of our systems just yet. Meaning your personal system, your nervous system, right? And with that embodiment of peace, just bringing that connection in. All those exhales and the inhales, you start to really realize that it's all in proper order. It's all in divine flow, or else it wouldn't be happening. Right? What happens on the other side of what's unfolding on our planet right now is, I like to think, Star Trek civilization, where all humans on the planet are working together for the betterment of humanity. The elimination of the financial system and the redistribution of all resources that are completely necessary, and utilizing advanced technologies to make that happen. And then eventually there is the rise of consciousness that will allow us to completely forego all forms of technology. Because the real technology is this human body. This is the most advanced piece of technology that has ever been created. There isn't anything greater than it. A biological living computer with the capacity to harness the essence of creation itself and be able to express itself in such unique and profound, artistic, beautiful, and fucked up ways, allowing for the unfolding of free will. And in that free will, whatever it may be, bringing about more unfolding of life. Because that's all there really is the unfolding. The complications and the complexities of intellectual information that is drowning humanity right now is a construct created by brilliant minds to imprison the human in all of its assets, including the connection with spirit. Why is it like that? Who the fuck knows? And honestly, it doesn't matter. What matters is you connecting with your peace. You realize that right now, each one of us are living inside of a very complex, very, 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 very real-like prison. And it's only a prison because of the state of the prison, the state of the system that we're inside of. Because the confinement of the humans will stay the same after the so-called overlords, whatever you want to call it, are fully exposed and going through tribunals, going through military court system. The confinement will stay the same, but the frequency of which is inside of the confinement will be beyond anything that humanity has seen in the history that has been written and rewritten and edited. History as we know it through the schooling system. Right? And then you start to really realize that this is all play. This is just a giant playground. And the playfulness that can come through us is the key to unlocking slavery. And it will happen. See, my job is to assist humanity out of this slavery. And until today, we're making history today, it has been one person at a time. helping that one person peel away all the layers of limitations so that they can fully express the connection of who they truly are, spirit, artistically out into the world. And now there are thousands of people that I've helped. Thousands, I can't even count how many. And that shifts things massively in the direction of more people unlocking themselves, peeling away the layers, and allowing the spirit that's always been there to fully express. How's everyone feeling? Feeling good. Okay. Anything coming up for any of you? Who's the phone number here? The 1206-353-0668. You want to state your name in the chat there? Okay. Well, if anyone has anything coming up at all, feel free to express yourself here. And if not, we will close out this session. On the floor here. Yeah, very welcome. So, before we close out here, I'll share something with you all. And if something does come up while I'm sharing this, feel free to say it in the chat and we'll invite you to speak. Now, within the realms of Zen Buddhism, Taoism, there's this expression that often comes about, and in pretty much every Taoist book that has ever been written, is saying that the mind is what creates suffering, which suffering is the illusory but very real-like experience of disconnection from spirit and the peace and the sovereignty and the trust. And that the mind is the one that's creating this experience. And then there comes this idea that the mind is a tool, because if it was a guide, it wouldn't guide you towards suffering, towards the experience of disconnection. And that the tool itself is designed to be engaged from a space of trust and connection. And from my personal experience, the mind engaged in the process of creation of constructs, of protocols, programs, and things that require intellectual information, not the arts. A great artist is a mindless artist, right? And ultimately, you all are artists of spirit. Everything that you do is an expression of spirit. Therefore, arts, because spirit is art, if you like to think about that, which is really a Toltec idea, ancient Toltec that predate the Aztecs. The engagement of the mind can be a playful one. It doesn't have to be, oh, dreaded and all this bullshit coming up for myself. It doesn't have to be that. And then let's eliminate the mind altogether. Dangerous concept. Because the mind is a tool, and you can't put this tool down. The moment you put the tool down, there's no more electricity flowing through your brain. There's no more spirit flowing through your brain. You are therefore brain dead. The tool is always there, and it is the one tool that we have been provided. The heart is not a tool. The heart is the consistent and constant expression of spirit through the human body. And its most gross form, gross meaning most dense. The connection between the heart and the nervous system, of which the nervous system has all the electricity flowing through, is not completely understood. They are very much tied together in incomprehensible ways. So, you cannot put the tool down that is the mind. And therefore, the mind itself is a tool of play and passion. Because in the heat of passion, you can utilize the mind as a way of constructing the life around you. For example, the writing of a book. The writing of a book comes from a space of intellectualizing data and compressing it onto a page. And then there's the awareness of grammar that comes in. And this is an intellectual, playful thing of having the right words in the right order to make a sentence of which people can relate to. Right? And this is leading somewhere where I want to talk with you about salt. And we're going to use the intellectual mind to talk about salt. Right? I am switching my nervous system from the flow to now intellectualizing information. And the intellectual information that I want to share with you is salt. Yes, sodium. In the comments, can you share with me what type of salt are you using in your daily life? Sometimes these things come up in these phone calls, and I have no idea why it's coming up, but it's coming up, and I want to talk to you guys about salt. What kind of salt are you utilizing in your food? And yes, this is intellectual. We are going to use science, and that is okay. It isn't always have to be just flow and no mind. Mind is an important tool. Okay, Celtic salt. Tracy, what kind of salt are you using? Okay. Just regular. I'm going to assume regular salt, meaning iodized. Or just regular. Okay, yeah. Okay. So, there are many types of salt. Many types of salt. Most of which have very high sodium content. The higher the sodium content, the less the mineral content. Other types of minerals. The magnesium. So, what I want to share with you is I've discovered a salt. It's called Baja Gold. You guys may have seen it floating around. It's becoming very popular. And this salt has a very low, in comparison to other forms of salt, sodium content, which means that there is room for the other minerals. The type of salt that you consume deeply impacts your nervous system. Yes, salt impacts your nervous system deeply. The main reason that humans have salt is one, taste. The second is for the minerals. And these are bioavailable minerals that affect every system inside of your body. And a very affordable route, a very easy switch that all of you can make in your life is to switch to this Baja Gold salt. Because you can look at the research. Yes, we're playing with intellectual information. Because sometimes it's necessary. And little shifts can go a long way. The salt will provide you with bioavailable minerals. Very easily. Put in your food. Tiny pinches on your tongue once or twice a day. And the magnesium content inside of this salt will allow for your nervous system to relax even quicker. And the tension inside of the mind, the racing of the mind, will calm as well. Celtic salt is a great salt. Himalayan salt is not as great as Celtic salt. So the best salt that I have found is this Baja Gold salt. And this simple shift, use it on your food, just put it on your tongue once or twice a day. You will notice a shift inside of your nervous system. Easy shift. You can look it up on Baja Gold. Really easy to find. Minerals are vital, right? And in the society and civilization that we live in as humans, we are constantly being bombarded with toxins on every front: the air, the water, the soil, the food, the clothing, the washing of things, your laundry, your dishes, your hand soap, your shampoos, all of these things toxic. And there is intentional agenda behind all of it being toxic. Yeah, I actually. So, these toxins deplete your mineral count. This is just a super affordable way to make sure that you're getting those minerals. I mean, you could buy magnesium and a mineral supplement, but it's going to cost you the same amount as 5 pounds of this salt. 5 pounds of Okay. That's all I have for the day. Is anything coming up for anybody? You're very welcome. Oh yeah, Laura, in the detox nutrition protocol, I have switched it from pink salt to this Baja Gold salt, and it's no longer going in the water. It's going directly onto your tongue. Just a tiny pinch. And just let it sit there for a few minutes. And then drinking the water. The magnesium from the salt will actually draw the water into the cell. Because magnesium is very water hungry mineral, right? And so when you put the salt in the water, the magnesium goes away. When you put it in your tongue, it gets absorbed into your body, and then you drink some water afterwards. The magnesium will actually pull the water into the cell. See, science can be fun. Right? Utilizing intellectual information in the mind can be fun and playful. But coming from a place of peace and alignment and connection, then you start to be able to tell the difference between natural law, aligned information, and data, and that which is not. Okay, everybody, that is all. The phone number here, the 206. Can you just comment? I want to know who it is. There's no name here. Okay, well, that is all for today. I really appreciate you all being here. And we will meet back again next month. Feel free to message me directly if anything comes up for you. And we can go from there. All right, blessed love, everybody.